One of our fans messaged us and said, did you see the ESPN.com ratings of the top 150 teams of all time? Because it's the 150th year of college football, I guess that's why they did it. And so there's an article out there that has the top 150 teams, and Clemson actually is on there 3 times. You would probably guess that it's the 3 national champion teams. But the 5th team all time was 2018's 15-0 team. What'd you think about that?
Well, I mean, I guess it's really difficult to compare, over different eras of football. Obviously, I think there's an incredible case you can make for, that team being number 1 all time. If you remember the conversation kind of going into the season, it was, that Alabama team was going to be the best team of all time. They finally had a quarterback who wasn't a game manager. They had Tua Tagovailoa. You know how he can sling it. You know how he can run. They were really excited about, his prospects and how he was going to be able to lead them to glory. And I mean, what happened in the championship game? Obviously, we all are very, very aware of what happened. Clemson spanked them all over the field, 28 points, 44-16. If we beat what was widely considered the best team of all time, I'm not really sure how we're 5th on the list. But still, I think there's definitely an argument to be made, for any team for sure. But yeah, if obviously, orange-colored glasses through our list, Clemson would be number 1.
Yeah, I want Clemson to be number 1 in everything for sure.
That's right.
If you look at the write-up, let me read it to you, okay? So you've got, they beat, like you said, the 44-16, what everybody thought was the best team in college football. First 15-0 team since 1897. Mm-hmm. Basically, first 15-0 team since college football actually mattered. Right. Clemson dominated thanks to a coming-of-age freshman, Trevor Lawrence, who took over for Kelly Bryant in the 5th game of the season. That might be why Clemson won its last 10 games by 20 points. By at least 20 points. The offense averaged 526 yards per game, but the defense, which held 8 teams to 10 points or fewer, carried the load. Clemson gave up 13 points per game, best in the nation, 291 yards per game, 6th in the FBS. They had 2 veteran defensive linemen who won national awards. Clelin Ferrell took the Hendricks Award for best defensive end, and Christian Wilkins earned the Campbell Trophy as the best student athlete. Ferrell, Wilkins, and offensive lineman Mitch Hyatt made the consensus All-America team. The Tigers won their 4th consecutive ACC title, which was a school first as well. And then they have 40th overall was the 1981 team. You got to scroll down a little bit further for the 2016 team, 63rd. And the thing that they kind of hit the 2016 team, the 14-1 team, the Deshaun Watson team, the last second winners, was that they didn't have any consensus All-Americans. It was the first team to not have to win a national championship and not have consensus All-Americans since 1984, and that was BYU. Do you think that is an accurate assessment of that team? I feel like that just because they didn't have consensus All-Americans doesn't mean that they weren't better than that, better than 63rd all time.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I don't really agree with that measure as far as being the standard for where they should be ranked. I mean, what if we had 3 guys who are the second best at their position, and these just one teams happen to have one player better? I think that's crazy. I wouldn't rank them that way, but hey, what do I know? I'm not getting paid the big bucks to rank them anyway. So,
well, we keep doing this show. You might be, so just prepare yourself now. But what I would say is that Deshaun, that proves to me that Deshaun Watson team, he did more with less. As you see Deshaun Watson right now, I mean, he's on the Texans. Man, what a frustrating game that was Sunday night. I know we got a lot of Clemson fans out there that are also Texans fans like myself because of Deshaun Watson. What a frustrating game that was for him to yet again bring the team back with less than 2 minutes to go in the game off of 2 giant pass plays, only to see their defense go into prevent defense again. Another year here where Romeo Crennel is just putting him into prevent defense, and you know what they say about prevent defense. All it does is prevent you from winning the game. But yeah, I think that confirms that my thought of Trevor Lawrence really had the best supporting cast possible. That defensive line we can't say enough about. Obviously, the wide receivers are great. They're still on the team. And then Deshaun himself didn't have a lot of All-Americans, but I mean, he had some he had Mike Williams, first-round draft pick, had Ben Boulware, Carlos Watkins, those guys, big-time guys that Ben didn't work out in the NFL, but Carlos is there, right? So he had a couple of guys on there that I think deserve some mention. I think they were a little bit better, especially I remember this note, and I believe it was this team. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the team that Dabo, they beat Florida State, they beat Ohio State, and they beat Alabama, and did they beat somebody else? They beat Auburn, so they beat like the last 5 champions or something like that. So I think that in itself, being able to beat all those historic teams, should have given them a better ranking there. I still hold that 2016 14-1 team in my heart as the number 1 team, even though I know the other team was the best ever, quote unquote. What do you think? Do you have that 2016 team ahead of the 18 team, or you just kind of give it to them because they 15-0?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can't go 15-0 and not have them at the top. Really, I mean, I understand. Like you said, they beat all those programs, and that's great. Hey, we had a great win on the road last year at Texas A&M. And of course, it's just the way we beat Alabama. We didn't win by just a few points like we did in 16. We absolutely hammered them. I think that says something. And again, the supporting cast was just overall better, offense and defense.